Hello. How are you today? Let's just do this differently. My name is Dr. Cheryl Meyer. That's just a title that I have because I got my doctorate in psychology a long time ago, and I've been practicing as a psychologist. But I take my life really seriously, and you know, I have light moments as well. Ah, look, there's just a little slug on the ground. But I just have a discipline now of taking a few minutes out a couple days a week so that I can keep giving back. Because I see the changes in my clients' lives and in my own life, and I want this for all people. I don't want anyone to be stuck. And hold on, let me think. What was just coming to me was like, as we change in our lives, as we let go of old patterns, oh, that's it. There's a song will always lead the way for me. Resistance will come up within us, and so it's like, expect the resistance and just see that it's a part of life. But carry on, keep persevering. So it's kind of like, all right, so what I was getting is Bob Marley's song, I Shot the Sheriff, And he said, every time I plant a seed, Sheriff John Brown always hated me for what? I don't know. Every time I plant a seed, he said, kill it before it grows, right? Before it grows, right? And so, that's weird, because that's what I was thinking about this morning in the car when I was asking, like, hey, what ought I teach today? Because I don't want it to be my own agenda. My own agenda just comes from here in my mind, right? And so I'm just remembering this now as I'm seeing these pine cones and these pine trees. I wanted to get under a pine tree today, and I didn't know why. And I teach people how to follow their intuition. I say, I help people navigate through their spiritual awakening, and all of life is a spiritual awakening, because you are spirit. You are a soul. You're a soul in a physical body. And, so the vision I was getting on my drive here this morning was a woman pregnant. And it was like the seed that's in the man and the egg that's in the woman creates this baby, and there's this baby. It's just like how the divine love, God, created this world, is like the seed is in the belly, like the baby is in the belly. I know this isn't like Birds and the Bees 101, it's not like that, but is in the belly of the woman, and then it's birthed, just like, here, I'll go back to the pine cones. The pine cones are in these trees. Look at these two pine cones, right? They're in the tree, and the acorn seed, or whatever pine seed. Oh my God, I'm so not good at trees, but I understand babies. They go into the ground and have the potential to make this giant tree. And so there's part of us, like, we are a soul, but we forget that sometimes, and we get caught up in our everyday personality, and we keep feeding that part of ourselves, and trying to make sure that part of ourselves stays alive and gets fed. And I mean, and we ought to stay alive for sure. But I'm talking about, if I have to keep propping up the idea of me and the image of me, and it's kind of like, oh, I better go sell more records, if I was a musician. keep the buzz about my personality going, you know? So what am I saying? So let's go back to what Bob Marley was teaching us in his song. Sheriff John Brown always hated me for what? I don't know. Every time I plant a seed, he said, kill it before it grows. And the idea of it, this is in the Bible, you know. I know Jesus said it somewhere, but it's also other places in the Bible. It says, you know, don't be deceived. It's in the Proverbs, I think. You know, a man reaps what he sows. You reap what you sow. And so if you sow seeds into the ground to feed your soul and to feed your soul's path and to grow that in you, you know. I made a video once about one of my friends who had been an atheist for a while. He had, and I was asking him, why did you come back to God? You know, because I was interested. I was curious for him and for you guys, for me, for all of us, because I know people that I love dearly, you know, that don't think that there's a divine love, you know. And if you could have access to $1 billion, you know, or just go, look, no, I forgot the numbers to that bank, you know, that bank account, then of course, you know, if we all have access to it, we want everybody to have access to it, you know. It's really simple in that way. But anyway, but God's not just like a bank we go to, but you know, if we, oh look at these little white flowers. If we do all we can, you know, to surrender to whatever God is doing in us, if we plant those seeds and we feed them, then, you know, if I practice guitar 8 hours a week, I'm going to be 8 hours a week better at guitar, even if some of the time is just tuning my guitar or sitting with a song or feeling frustrated because I can't figure out the song or whatever. I still spent that time disciplined in that area, and it grows my guitar ability, right? And so let me tie this together with Bob Marley was saying, it's like your egotism is like the sheriff. I shot the sheriff, you know, but I didn't shoot the deputy. Your egotism, your personality is like the sheriff, and it does not understand. You know, it's like Elliott has a song. Elliott Smith was a friend of mine. It's so loud today. It's okay. Just allow, right? And he said, oh, which song of his was just coming up? No, I can't remember the song, but I'll go back to I Shot the Sheriff. This is so beautiful. Oh, that's the song of Elliott's. It says, he said, nobody knows what he's doing, still hanging around. It's like I'm sponsored, but I'm not. It says love it again and again. Aww, maybe that's why. I hope you guys saw that at the back. Love it again and again. Come back to your soul self, yourself, and bring love to it again and again. You know, drink up. Me hearties yo ho. That's the pirate song from the Disney movie. I mean the Disney ride. All right, so I wear this heart, you know, and right now I'm wearing just this cross, and I remind people the X and the O. Elliott had an album called XO when I was hanging out with him. You know, he had an album called Either Or too. It was based off of Kierkegaard. Either or, like learning how I do. The X is like die to yourself every day, die to your egotism, and come back to the oneness. The O is like the oneness, the hug, you know. And so it's like Nobody knows what Elliott's doing. He's in this stillness, hanging around, hanging. It's like dying to yourself every day. But in a way where you're not letting your egotism and your personality self run your life. Like I was like, what do you want me to talk about? You know? My mind, I have a list of like 100 different YouTube videos I could make today. So, but I want to be yielded. And so it's like a practice of yielding. And you coming here, listening to this is like a seed. Listening to this is like a seed of yielding, of what is going on, you know. I texted someone the other day, I was talking about morning prayer. I said, sometimes it seems like the more boring it is, the more, the more it's feeding my soul, you know. It's talking about doing the everyday things to keep, you know, nurturing your garden, planting the seeds, keep on keeping on. Every time I plant the seed, Sheriff John Brown, he always hated me. He doesn't understand the soul self of you. You don't understand this wild nature of your inner knowing, of your intuition, and how when you take time to strengthen that muscle, it's just like if I do, you know, 100, I was doing 100 sit-ups every day and 50 push-ups. Some of them were girl push-ups, but and it's like, as you do that, you're strengthening your body. You just are. You are. And so the sheriff in you, this bossy boss that wants to rule the life by building up material goods and your outer personality and looking good and all that stuff, it doesn't like you planting those other seeds. It says kill them before they grow, because it knows that it will cause a death to the egotism. It knows that it will cause this inner change, you know. It's so quiet here. So know that as you shift, that was my friend who said he noticed that, you know, his physical body was hungry. And so he was feeding that healthy food because anyway, I won't go into his story. And he knew that his mind was hungry for stimulation. And so he was feeding his mind, and he just recognized his soul needed food. So he started going back to a church for him, you know, to feed his soul. And our soul longs for truth and quiet and knowing. And when you're confused, you know, just ask for clarity and know that as you start on that path towards feeding your soul, your flesh will come up like a spoiled child, you know, like the child sometimes like the Pharaoh in the Old Testament, like came after the Israelites after he let them go. Or like Veruca Salt in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Oh, I want an Oompa Loompa now. You know, there's this part of you that flares up when that happens. But just keep on keeping on and be present and ask for clarity and ask for grace and ask for truth and ask for wisdom. And don't be ashamed to ask for any of those things. Just be in love, be in quiet. All right, I wish you so much love. Thanks for being here. Feel free to share.